Hello there, viewers. I'm the Knight of Arcane, and with the recent release of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I knew I should try and do something Mario-themed with it. In fact, I knew what I wanted to do with it for quite some time, since I partially hinted at it in my Pokemon as Dragons video. With the movie's release, I've turned 4 Mario characters into dragons. Let's see what the results are, shall we? I was thankfully able to find the book about atalamus and their dragons to study. However, I had to also grab a few other books on the region, history, and culture under the pretense of learning on how the trade there works to keep my mother off my main focus. So, I was only able to look at the research of 4 dragons from atalamus at this time. The Principessa Royal wyvern is said to be a beautiful dragon found in the region. This slender dragon has a long neck and huge wingspan, with golden spikes that go down from its head all the way to its tail, that are made of pure gold. Back in the day, these spikes were sought after not only for the obvious reasons of being made of pure gold, but to be used as a part of elaborate crowns for kings and queens. Many poachers and hunters have killed these majestic beasts in the past for these spikes. However, it was thankfully stopped once it was discovered that the dragons shed their spikes, similar to deer and elk with their antlers. Yet this dragon is actually quite friendly and caring around humans, and even seems to have a sweet tooth. Many Principessa Royal wyverns can be found along the countryside eating peaches and mushrooms, while also as pets for noble houses, even being the heraldic symbol for a small kingdom, one that's ruled by queens whose ancestors come from Eris, who has all the females tame and ride one of these dragons as their royal mounts. However, this peaceful and caring dragon, for some reason, has made itself a target for another dragon in the area, the furious bowservon koopagon. I knew I would need to make this peach dragon more slender, since she's quite slender herself, and wanted it to make it quite majestic too. I didn't want to make her too ferocious, but also didn't want to make her too cute, wanting to seem dignified, even royal-like, the princess it's based off of. I went with a wyvern, since I felt their design would work best with the slender idea I had with this peach dragon, and that pink would work the best on a wyvern more than a traditional dragon. One thing I wanted was something that could relate to her crown, so had the spikes be gold, and then came up with the lore around them partially as a way to add why it had royal in their name. With that, let's look at the finished dragon. One of the biggest and most ferocious dragons in the region, the furious bowservon koopagon, is a powerful dragon with a nigh impervious hide and armor plates that make it almost impossible to kill. The hulking dragon tends to live around volcanoes like Mount Vesuvius, with their fire breath able to reach similar temperatures to magma and lava, while also have razor-sharp claws and the strength to even throw other bowservon koopagons in the air. For some reason, the dragon also likes to target castles, and if successful in taking it over, which for the most part it's generally able to do quite easily, it will actually make the castle its home and nest in it, though many will also work to transfer lava from volcanoes in the building of the said nest. Like mentioned, the bowservon koopagon has taken a great interest in the Principessa Royal wyverns, not only as a source of food, but to also force the dragons to help raise their young. Bowservon koopagons aren't really caring dragons, and as such don't usually watch over or care for their young. However, they're intelligent enough to know not to leave their young alone, to be killed by other dragons or humans, and use the caring nature of the royal wyverns to keep their young safe. since the dragon will protect even the bowservon koopagon's young from threats, even if they were forced to watch over them, and often, in a way, caged by the bigger dragons, with fear and sometimes breaking their wings to keep them from flying. While they may be slow in the air, there's very little you can do when one is seen on the horizon. Except to run and pray it doesn't notice you. Bowser is actually the last dragon I drew, and when I started it, I was a bit tired, so took a break after starting on the head sketch, and waited the next day to finish it, along with changing the head design since I really didn't like how it was looking. I wanted this dragon to be quite monstrous, so put the wings right behind the arms and put hands on them along with longer horns on the head and longer hair. I put some shell-like plates on the shoulders so it could be a bit more visible than any on the back, and tried a sort of scale gradation with the small scale details around the shoulders, like his newer movie design. Then also doing it around where the metal bands would be. Speaking of them, I still wanted to have the bands in it, so went with a small scale stripe pattern, along with a few on the neck, and the ones on the neck I really like the look of. Okay then, let's look at the finished Bowser Dragon. Just a reminder that I have a Patreon set up, which is one of the best ways to support the channel and any and all future projects we plan on doing. You get access to weekly Patreon polls, early access to content of my other projects, and get various monthly art rewards, like headshots, along with helping us reach our various Patreon video goals for the channel. Lowest tier starts at $3 a month. Every little bit helps if you can. Thank you for the support, and now back to the dragons. A smaller dragon from Atalamus, the goombatar is a drake that reaches about 5 feet from head to tail, and only seems to have a single set of legs and no arms. This big-headed dragon isn't very intelligent, and will walk straight into anything that's in its path. It'll even charge straight at both predators and prey with no strategy in their minds, even off a cliff. The dragon isn't even really tough. The head, while big, is also quite soft, and can easily be crushed by strong blows to the head, with many soldiers and even farmers having claimed to have killed hundreds of goombatars easily. Yet, this dragon has survived, partially due to their ability to rapidly reproduce asexually from the spores they leave behind, coming from bumps that form on their body and spread out when broken, taking root in the ground and feeding off shared nutrients of other plants until it hatches out of the ground. This helps to bring thousands of goombatars into the world, though many will stay in packs in heavily mushroomed forests, so there will be no shortage of these guys for years to come. With this, goombatars have mainly resorted to scavenging bigger meals left by tougher beasts, or even becoming servants to bigger dragons like the bowservon koopagon. Some have even claimed to see a version that has actually evolved wings, allowing them to jump and reach higher places normally inaccessible to them. Though many find it hard to believe if some were able to, why not all of them? Along with which should have came first, and why they would either evolve the wings or unevolve them. However, this drake has unfortunately become the main food source for another dragon in Atalamus, one that will even face off bowservon koopagons with no hesitation. First, I knew Goomba would be a drake. Yes, there are paragoombas, but you'll see the normal wingless Goombas more than them, plus the iconic Goomba has no wings. Second, we needed to only give it 2 legs. No arms or extra set of legs, since the little mushroom-like guy only has 2 legs. So was partially inspired by raptor legs with these, though if anything, they're probably more like chicken legs. I also wanted to try and give it different texture to its skin, adding the bumps and sore-like things to keep it from looking pretty flat. Sort of like bumps I've seen some mushrooms have, and also on other vegetables, like potatoes. Originally I was going to keep it mostly brown, but a line wasn't completely closed, and when I saw more of its parts being that tan color than intended, I actually liked how it looked, so changed it a bit. With those notes done, let's have our last look at the drake. The atalamus moragon is a red and blue dragon that, while mainly lives in Atalamus, has also found its way to Japan and the Maritane's east coast, though Atalamus is where it and another similar green and blue dragon are from. It's slightly smaller than the Principessa Royal wyvern, and a lot smaller than the furious bowservon koopagon. Yet this dragon seems to have a deep rivalry with the much larger dragon, and will openly challenge it if their paths are crossed. No one knows for sure why this hatred occurred, but it's advised to stay away from any clashes between these two. This dragon mainly feasts on smaller dragons, like the goombatar, and its flaming breath is able to keep them from reproducing by completely destroying the spores. Yet they seem to be quite friendly towards Principessa Royal wyverns. The moragon was originally called the atalamus fire moragon, until it was discovered to have a unique trait. One dragonologists are unable to give an answer on how it's able to. See, this dragon, like most classic dragons, normally is only able to breathe fire. However, traders and warriors soon started to tell tales of seeing these beasts breathing fire, thick clouds, and even gold, which would cover targets in metal and usually suffocate them. No one believed these tales for a long time, until a dragonologist was studying one and noticed it eating a bunch of blue flowers that were said to hold alchemic components for ice-based magic, before fighting a bowservon koopagon in its territory and able to fight it off with an icy breath. Their best guess was the alchemic property of certain flowers and other plants allows it to change the type of breath it has for a short time, though it doesn't explain the still unproven claims people have made of seeing them grow from eating mushrooms. Hopefully I'll be able to look at more of the Atalamus region's dragons soon, along with a blue dragon from the Mobius region that seems to have a strange rivalry with the moragon. But I shouldn't stay on Atalamus for too long, unless my mother will find out what I've been doing. I think I'll look around the world in general for a bit, and not stay in one location for long. Now though, I need to get back to my other studies, though they're so boring at times. What I wouldn't give to leave this place and see the world. I guess I'm rambling a bit in this journal. It was a bit hard to design this dragon, and even afterwards, I'm not sure if I'm fully on board with its design, and might come back to redesign it on a later date. I decided on the brown scale-like thing around the lips to represent its mustache, since just giving it one would look way dumber than what I did. I think I either shouldn't have given them the second set of longer horns, or changed their design, but didn't want to look too much like a normal stereotypical dragon, leaving me with something I'm not sure how to feel. Do think the transition from red to blue looks good, and like the divide between red and tan on the arms, though half and half with the blue dividing pattern on it. And think I started something good with the scale plates on the shoulders being blue. Just should have added more to be like the straps. Maybe even had some yellow scales to be like the buttons. Anyways, let's look at the results of the Mario Dragon. And that's our Mario characters as dragons done. It's kind of a mixed bag with the results to me, and might come back to some of these dragons and redraw them in the future. But I think I'm learning a lot from these to help me improve in the future. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments on them, along with other Mario characters I should turn into dragons, or other series I could turn into dragons, along with other ideas on what I can do with Mario characters also. Sometime soon I might go and do a second round of Mario animatronics, so while I think on that, check out the first Mario animatronics video, and any other video I have that might interest you also. If you did like this, please leave a like, and subscribe to join our little Arcane town, and get notifications for more videos like this and more in the future. Our first sub goal is so close, a little over 30 subs needed for FNAF stands. We even might be able to reach it this month. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later!